I don't have any fancy visuals for this, so it's just going to be like my desktop visible, the chat stream, that kind of thing. But greetings, all of you, and welcome. Some of you I'm meeting for the first time. I am Tristan. I'm part of the Player 4 podcast. I also DM 5th edition D&D every Tuesday for a group of 7 players. And so I'm going to try to run a quick one-shot tonight in a limited amount of time, so we'll see how well that goes. I've got players before me. Danielle, if you would like to do just a quick introduction for yourself. I'm just going to go down the list. I'm not trying to pick on you.
Okay. My name is Danielle. I'm from Norway. I played D&D 5th edition since it came out. So I'm used to this.
Nice. Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash, otherwise known as Kitsune Flare. Pronouns, she, they. I'm back, I guess, kind of.
Joseph.
Hi, I'm Joseph. You may already know me from the podcast and one of the weekly games. And I know Tristan, that's my claim to fame.
Bree.
Hey everyone, I'm Bree. You may have heard me on Joseph's D&D every once in a while. I'm probably the newest person here to D&D, but I'm gonna try it out. I'm from Arizona, and it's finally not 90 degrees here.
Nice. And
Yay.
I don't think we got formally introduced yet, so I'm gonna go with the username Zan.
Hi, I'm Zan,
Zan.
and I'm here because of Joseph, though I wouldn't call that a claim to fame knowing him.
And the burns start early. All right. So that everybody knows what's going on. You are all you have all selected pre-made level 1 characters. I have a level 1 one-shot that I wrote up last night, and the way this is going to work is all of you are taking on these characters. They are a pre-established adventuring group, so you all know each other. You know that you can rely on each other's skills, so we can run with a modicum of trust. You're all new adventurers, so you can still be learning about each other's abilities and things of that nature. But there shouldn't be any like distrust or hostilities within this group to begin with. As it's a one-shot, you don't really have time to work through the complex dynamics of those kinds of things. Interesting though they usually are. Secondly, the story itself. Your group is known in this area as monster hunters and mercenaries. You usually take contracts, accepting pay to do certain things like investigate a murder, hunt down a monster, exercise a spirit, usually something of that nature. Your various skills and the setup of the different things allow you to complete these tasks and collect pay for doing them. And so in this case, you will be traveling to the town of Verdun, where your presence has been requested to investigate attacks by a mysterious creature that have been going on recently. You're going to be meeting, as you enter the town, you will be meeting with a man who introduces himself as the resident knight, Aaron de Milo. You are brought before this person by a pair of, let's call them guards. They are wearing cobbled together armor, and they don't look fit. So you can imagine that these are townsfolk who have donned whatever they can, from armor that might have been passed through their family to pots and pans as protection, and are acting as guards. And so, brought before this man, Aaron de Milo introduces himself and thanks you for responding to his job, which would have appeared either in a guild or in a job board, which are the places you usually find these things. A quick explanation of the town. It's a small town, probably at best 200 people live here, all told. So that would be, every member of every family. Small place. The buildings are, plaster, stucco, brick. Any of these. It's definitely, it's not upscale. The place seems to be supported by its agriculture. Specifically, it grows a lot of fruits, berries. There are growing fields, vineyards, and orchards. So they definitely have trade in the wine business and fruit juices of that nature. So that's kind of the setup into this. The area is somewhat hilly, but it is very verdant green, as the name implies, the town of Verdun. So, I think that gets out of the way kind of the setup here. And so, you all gathered, or 5 of you, actually not too bad. You will be gathered before this man as he meets you in front of one of the nicer-looking buildings. Its walls painted blue. And he says to you, "Thank you very much for coming. You can call me Aaron de Milor. Now, the problem that I would like to explain to you is that for the past fortnight, our town here has come under attack by a strange creature that none in my command nor myself has ever encountered before. We would like you to investigate what this creature is, and if you can, slay it for us. I am the only resident knight here, and I have to protect the town as best I can, and it is beyond my capability at this time. And so, that is where you come in. I would like you to support me in this, and I am willing to pay you very well for this. If you can slay the monster, I will reward you with 500 gold pieces. But I can also reward you for lesser feats if you can figure out what the monster is, so perhaps we can slay it ourselves or someone else if it is beyond your capability. I would compensate you for that to the tune of 100 gold pieces. If you can instead locate its lair, then I would pay you 200 gold pieces. And of course, if you do any combination of these, you would be paid the sum total. Excepting, of course, if you slay it, then it is just 500. You may talk with myself or anyone in the town to conduct your investigation, but you will be expected to find this creature and slay it in the best case scenario.
Best case scenario, 500 gold for slaying the beast that is plaguing this area, correct?
Indeed.
And in addition, you wish to reward us for any good deeds that we do.
If there is a citizen you help along the way, they can feel free to reward you, or you can petition for extra pay. I would hear your petitions.
So it would be after the fact when we return.
Yes. In the case that you cannot slay the beast, I would pay you for the location of its lair.
And you will be staying here to protect the town?
Yes, I have conscripted some of the townsfolk, as you have met them. But as I said, I understand that this will require some investigation, and so I make myself and any townsfolk, I have made them aware that you have been hired, and so you may ask them questions.
Would
By any
Oh, go ahead.
By any chance, do you have an idea of what this creature might look like?
Unfortunately, I have never laid eyes on the creature. It has attacked some 5 or 6 times in the last fortnight, and in each of the times when I came to respond, I was bested from behind.
Interesting. Duly noted.
It is of note that while I was attacked by the creature, to the best of my knowledge, I was not killed, whereas some other members of the town have not been so lucky.
That's
Now,
really unfortunate.
that was my question. these townspeople you talk of, would any of them have any information? Perhaps unfortunate, relatives who are recently deceased from the monster?
Yes, I am certain there are people that you can talk to. The recent casualties include 2 men working the vineyards. They are pickers for the grapes, as well as, and he like pulls out a pad and flips through it. Most unfortunately, one of our scribes.
All right. I suggest we start there.
If there are any other questions, I am more than happy to answer them to expedite your investigation.
What has the scene around their bodies always looked like? Is it still nice, or is it completely destroyed?
A great deal of damage has been dealt to the town on each visit from the creature. Whatever it is, I believe it to be large and strong and possessed of claws, which are capable of damaging even hard wood. Usually, any glass or any small wooden items are smashed at the scenes of this thing's attacks, and there is evidence of deep paw prints and claw marks on nearby buildings, doors, window frames, that sort of thing. We are working to repair these things, so I can give you those as evidence.
Yes, I would like to see that.
I can take you to see them. He will lead you through the town. You see, as it is into evening, people are moving about the town. Things seem pretty business as usual, but as their eyes fall upon you, you will see worried looks cast towards you. You will see stormy looks on people's faces as they worry over what's going on, that all of these people with armor and weapons have appeared. Some of them definitely seem to understand exactly what is happening, and a small contingent of people begin to follow as you move through the town to the first location that he takes you. And the first location that he takes you does appear to be a record building. It's rather nice. There's wooden columns around the outside of the door and glass windows. And on the first floor, the windows on either side of the door have been smashed. You can see that the glass has been cleaned up, as it is not laying on the ground, but the wooden columns themselves have deep gouges, parallel to one another, as though some very large clawed beast grabbed it and dragged its claws over it. Permitting you inside, you do see that the building is divided into 3 rooms, the largest of which seems to be just all bookshelves along the walls, with 2 bookshelves freestanding and a desk. And it is in here that you can see on the carpeting, which has yet to be removed, there is stains of blood, and on the stone beneath them, which makes up the floor, near the doorway, you can see that there are deep gouge marks in the stone from these claws. It says, this is where the scribe, Arthur, he was killed while he was doing his work. The creature, whatever it is, appears to have torn its way into the building, and he seems very distraught as he tries to find the words to describe this. It's
all right. I'm sure this is deeply disturbing.
Maybe. Forgive me. We do have a surgeon living within the town. The bodies have been taken to him, and he can show you them and explain the wounds to you, if that will help in your investigation.
I think, personally, that sounds like a place that I will go and investigate.
Very good. For the people who are here, if you want to gather the evidence and kind of try to piece together the story of what has happened here, you can make investigation rolls and survival rolls to try and understand the kind of creature that might have done this.
I'll make a survival roll.
Okay,
Can I do investigation?
you may.
I'll be 18 after bonus.
All right.
Sorry, what was... Yeah, what was the third option?
Survival investigation. You could try nature if you wanted to determine, maybe more specifically, if you know this wild animal that might have done this.
I rolled investigation. I got a 14, and survival was a 12.
Okay. Survival for 12, investigation 14. Ash, could you repeat what your investigation was?
My investigation was a whopping 1 + 7, so an 8.
Okay. And then there was an 18 on survival from the...
I have a passive investigation of 15
All right,
because of the observant feats.
Mhm.
And I rolled a natural 20 on my survival.
All right.
So 23.
All right. So the combined efforts of the people working here, you begin combing over the scene, closely examining the claw marks and trying to follow the path of destruction here. What you determine is that this does not appear to have been faked in any way. It does appear that some kind of feral animal got in here and left these marks. Whatever it is definitely very strong and very large, based on the spacing, the length, and the depth of the claw marks, and the fact that it left some in the stone itself. You haven't... you do ask... The investigation includes asking questions, and people did tell you got a bunch of varying stories. Some people claimed that they heard the howling of wolves during the time that the attack took place. One of them said that they heard chittering or cackling, which sounds more like some sort of a hyena to you. And one person, I have it written here, indicated... Sorry, I have to scroll around my notes. Some of them I remember offhand, other times like, wait, what was the third thing I wrote down? All of the... Damn it.
So there's no clear answer. Never mind. I just completely blanked mid-sentence what I was trying to ask.
One of them reports blustering and braying of a horse. Now, there are horses in the town, so they admit that perhaps it was one of those horses, but they said that those were, away and locked up since the attack had taken place at night, and so, given where they were in town, they shouldn't have been hearing that.
So I'm going to roll nature real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Nature's good. While you roll that... Never mind. The survival checks are going to allow you to follow the path of destruction, and determine where the creature, began and ended its tour in here, and off which direction it headed. As it
does seem like that's the next thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Just a quick question: is anybody else going to try and roll nature now that you have all of these?
I'm
I will try.
gonna try.
I actually should have clarified. I feel my character probably is still here, and it hasn't gone to see basically the
bodies
coroner.
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I tried and I did not succeed at all.
Okay.
Sorry, we can roll nature now, right?
Yeah. Nature is what I would like to hear about.
Okay, I'll try to do that too.
So far, nobody has looked at these claw marks and said, "Ah, yes, I know exactly what made these."
Yes.
Does a 17 help at all?
Okay, you got a 17, Bree?
I only got a 12.
A 12. Alright, so 17's the best so far. Danielle, did you want to try nature? Had you? I forgot.
No, I'm not sure she knows enough.
It's okay. If you don't want to roll it, that is entirely acceptable. So with a 17, Sings of Dawn, you will determine that these claw marks, while they have aspects of them that seem reminiscent of animals you're familiar with, the shape of the pattern that they make as they were dragged across the surface, these parallel lines, the number, there are 4 of them, seem leonine. There's just too much. The cutting of the stone, the fury with which this attack took place, it just doesn't seem to fit perfectly well with any animal that you can think of offhand, like, that would be in the area.
Guys, these marks don't look accurate to any animal around here, at least.
Oh?
I'm just drawing a blank. I don't...
Exotic
It's
animal
really
trader,
hard.
maybe? Exotic animal trader, maybe? There might be one in the area.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here.
Aaron's going to rub his chin and say, "That is possible. The crown does often have some exotic tastes, and wishes to add such creatures to their menagerie. It is possible that such a creature could have come loose. But that it is so focused, that it is so focused on this town, and its people, and attacks with such ferocity. I admit I am no expert on this type of animal, but I have never heard of such a thing from the many hunters I have known in my life."
Is there anyone in this village who has any knowledge of the sorts of creatures in the royal menagerie?
Most of the people here are serfs, so, he kind of leans into this peasantry, not nobility. They do not waste their time thinking about such things. They have lives to think about, not this posh ways that the crown wastes money. He kind of, looks around, after he says that, choose to live.
I hope no one heard me.
Yeah.
So
Well?
I guess we're still down to following tracks, but now we've got some additional information thanks to... Hold on. Sings in the Dawn.
I prefer just Dawn. Thanks, though.
Dumb.
I was
I
leaning
like-
towards Sing, but okay.
So, we have multiple options now.
Indeed. If you would like, I can take you to our surgeon. I know I said he before, but I am deciding that it is a she now. Sort of rolled out before. If you would not like to see the bodies, then I can take you anywhere else you might wish to go. If you feel you can follow these tracks, I can leave you to it.
So we've seen the wood so far.
This is the Hall of Records, basically, where they keep the books on everything that goes on in the town. And the scribe here was killed. You've seen the damage to this building, basically. And as you walked here, you would have been aware of, claw marks and broken windows and busted wagons along the way. So, it's not localized damage. It's pretty widespread.
I'm not excited about seeing dead bodies, but I've seen dead bodies before. So I think at least one of us needs to go do that.
I can take all of you to see Rosa. She is the town surgeon. and she has command of the bodies at this time.
I would like to go take a look and see if I can't figure anything else out.
I'm also not opposed to going.
I think it could definitely be helpful.
Yeah, we should go see the bodies.
Very well. Please follow me. Again, you are led down the streets, and you can see more buildings, more damage, gouges, ruts in the road. As it were, a lot of the roads around here are packed earth. Only really near the place where you met him, there were flagstones for a roadway out. Alright, I think there's a big truck going by. Out here, further away from that kind of central square area, is more packed earth, so the ruts in the road are caught by wagon wheels and horses, but you do still see, displaced earth, and gouges in the ground from this creature's passing. He brings you to a small white building, and you can see that there are blood stains on the stone floor right in the entranceway, and trails leading off into the building. It looks like somebody tried to clean these up. And he is going to go in and call out, and quickly explain to someone within that you are here investigating the case. And after a moment, he will step back out onto the street with you. And a tan-skinned woman with short brown hair and hazel eyes comes out and looks up at you. And she says, "So, you're the ones that got hired to look into this?"
Yes, indeed. That's us.
Well, I hope you've got a stomach for some gore then, because these bodies are very damaged. Are you sure that you're ready to see this?
I am certain.
We have to be.
I've probably made worse.
She, you see, the corner of one side of her mouth kind of curl momentarily, and then flatten back out. She says, "Alright then. Please, follow me inside." And within, she takes you through, what looks to be a primary examination area where she might see to any person. You can see that there are several, lanterns that are not currently lit hanging from the ceiling to give a lot of light around this table and a chair. She takes you through here, and you can see that you are following a set of trails of blood drops that have been, scrubbed at, but still left a stain on the floor, around into another room, which is brightly lit by a lot of torches, as it seems she's been recently using it. And in here are slabs. You know that these would normally be used to prepare bodies for interment, as they usually remove as much of the blood as they can, and any organs that are treated more respectfully or differently in death, or could be used in medicines. And on these slabs, there are 3 bodies. There are white linen draped over them that are heavily stained with blood. If you want to make investigation and medicine checks, I will describe what you learn about these bodies.
Alright, sound like one medicine.
I have very high investigation, so we'll try this.
16
I'll make
medicine.
16 medicine.
15 medicine.
21 in medicine.
21 medicine, 16 medicine. What did you say, Zan?
15 in medicine.
15 in medicine?
I also got 15.
15 medicine. Oh, everybody's really good at medicine today. Excellent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mine was investigation. That was,
investigation.
That was completely wrong.
Investigation.
Yep.
Okay, put that over
Sorry.
there. Alright. Ash?
Nat 20 in medicine, and investigation was a 18.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Very good. So,
My dice like me.
all of you managed to keep your stomachs. The The sight that you behold as she uncovers each of the bodies is gruesome. On one of the victims are multiple sets of puncture wounds, which you can recognize as bite marks, and these have the look of somebody who is attacked by a dog or a wolf, a canid of some kind, only much the bite width of the rows of teeth is much greater than any dog you have thus far encountered in your life, and the vicious nature of the attack, that it looks like they had been bitten, clamped onto, and then thrashed, as some of these puncture wounds are just dragged. The bruising and tearing of the flesh is impressive. So whatever this thing is, it was large enough to grab this person, in this case, male body, and pull them in, and they look like they might have weighed, 160 pounds, around bodily, physically, shredding the flesh, and leaving these very obvious canine-like bite marks. The next body is of a young woman with black hair. She has deep claw marks resembling the ones you saw in the stone and wood at the scene that you investigated. It looks like it looks like basically she was used like a scratching post. Like this thing just came up and slashed its claws across her body multiple times. The lacerations are incredibly deep, and it looks like she probably died of blood loss.
Lovely.
The last person is entirely mangled and eviscerated. Almost, it looks like, by your investigation and medicine check, as though the person had been pounced upon by a creature at least as large as they were, and their body cavity was eviscerated as this creature was on top of them. It looks like their face was disfigured, and their arm was torn almost entirely off. So this is a vicious attack.
I turn to make sure everyone's okay after all this.
Dawn would be staring wide-eyed, concerned. We really need to find whatever this is, and I'm sorry to say it, but end its life. This isn't okay. At all.
I can't make any sense of this. It looks like a wolf, but bigger. But wolves don't just run into buildings and kill people.
It is very troubling. I'm also not sure what's happening at all here.
I place my hand on Dawn's shoulder, and I say, I know this is tough, but I need to know if this is consistent with the impression you got earlier.
Tristan, would it be roughly the same, if not exact?
It continues to corroborate the idea that whatever did this is not a natural animal that you are familiar with.
Dawn would nod. It doesn't even look familiar. I don't get it.
Is there a roll I can make here, Tristan, to get further insight? Start thinking extra planar, for example, or magical beings?
If the person who seems to be pretty well versed in nature is telling you it's not natural, you could make an Arcana or a religion check. Anyone could.
I could do Arcana.
I'll do Arcana.
I'll do
I have a
religion.
great one for that.
Yeah.
A dirty 20.
Nice.
Arcana.
I got 21.
Very nice. All right, 21.
8 religion.
An 8 in religion, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 in religion.
10 in religion. Okay. Your knowledge of religion isn't deep, but, and I mean this as a group, but you are aware that there are times when divine creatures descend to the mortal plane, and some of them can be quite dangerous. But there isn't any that you can think of that necessarily fits this kind of behavior or pattern. That isn't to say that it can't be something like that, but nothing comes to mind. For Arcana, you do know that a number of things could be at work here. The appearance of a feral animal could be consistent with somebody who is transformed by magic into a dire beast of some type. It could be a summoned spirit of some kind. You know that for some ghostly or ethereal creatures, it's not so much that they are strong, but simply that the composition of their body allows them to damage things as hard as stone in ways that a normal person couldn't. Oh, you had rolled investigation earlier, and I did leave off something because I got sidetracked by another detail. I had been trying to find the noises that it made, but you also, in addition to finding out, these disparate stories over the noises that people heard, you did find some people, primarily among the group that was following you, who wanted to talk about it, who claimed to have seen something, and what they described is as disparate as what they described to have heard. What they described to have seen is as disparate as what they described to have heard. With some people saying that they saw a great two-legged creature with bulging arms tearing these buildings apart. Another person would tell you that they saw, a canine-like beast, like a giant wolf running on all fours. You get all of these kinds of descriptions. A lot of them do still veer back toward animalistic, however. But one thing that definitely is consistent through the descriptions that you get is black as night and glowing red eyes. And every person there who claimed to have seen it said that as soon as they saw it, it was gone, like it just vanished.
Interesting.
One of them claimed that he saw it, here destroying a cart, and then all of a sudden across the street breaking a window, kind of a thing, and nothing in between.
Could there be multiple?
The Dr. Rosa is just kind of gonna shiver as you see her packing some substance into a pipe and then lighting it, saying, I sure hope there aren't more than one of these.
If there's more than one, we'd have a bigger problem on our hands.
I turn to the woman and I say, you wouldn't happen to have any roads?
Roads?
Roads. Sneaky buggers.
Rogues.
Rogues?
I believe.
Do you mean bandits?
No, I mean, does this village have any roads?
She seems very confused, but finally says, if you mean by profession, no. Everyone here works the land. We do get that type come through now and again, hoping to sample some of the wine, but none of the residents are... I mean, if we had fighters like that, we probably wouldn't have needed to hire out.
It was Rosa, right?
Yes, Rosa.
Was there anything else you discovered while you were, doing your autopsies?
Well, such as they are, it doesn't seem to me that the creature that did this did so for sustenance. There isn't any evidence that it was trying to get something from the body. It seems that its intention was purely to kill the person, which is very unlike any animal I've ever been taught about.
Can I ask you specifically which people in the village have been victimized by this beast? What were their professions and that sort of thing?
The man with the bite marks there was scribe. He keeps the records for the town, purchases, exports. He also is responsible for, keeping a copy of the books for the vineyards to keep inventory of, how many vines are producing and how much. The other two were vineyard workers. Just people, they pick grapes and bring
They
them
were in
in.
the same vineyard?
Well, there's only the one here.
Okay.
The Crown owns it.
You know if anyone at that vineyard recently made someone really mad?
She says, kind of chewing on the stem of the pipe. I don't really involve myself in that business, but, word gets around town. I haven't heard anything like that. You should probably ask Aaron DeMilo. He's the executor of the vineyard, as it was... This is land granted to him by the Crown. He is supposed to oversee this place.
Noted, thank you.
Sure. Beyond that, I don't know what to make of this. Like I said, it doesn't seem like any natural beast that I've ever encountered before. These wounds are horrific, and... Please, find this thing and get rid of it. We won't survive another attack like this.
I only have one more question, and I intend to get out of your way.
Please.
I would like to know, were there any witnesses to Aaron being attacked?
I haven't asked about, but you could... There was a gaggle of villagers following you, the townsfolk. I would ask them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you can do so. As you go back out, I assume... nobody else has any further questions for Rosa?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. Working your way back to the entrance of the building outside, Aaron DeMilo is standing there, in his full gleaming knight's armor, with his hands raised before him as a crowd has gathered around him, and they all seem to be asking questions, some looking scared, some looking angry, and he is doing his best to give them assurances that every effort is being made to see the end of this disaster.
Tristan, I did have one more question for Rosa.
Okay.
By any chance, were these attacks only happening at night or during the day as well?
So far, the town has only been attacked at night, after the sun has gone down.
Got it.
The town
Thank
is
you.
pretty well lit by torches, though, so... It's never, it's never full dark here.
Understood. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As we're leaving this area, I'm going to talk to the rest of the group and say I'm going to have a conversation with Aaron for a second, and I'd like to see what information you can get from this crowd, particularly on my end. I'd like to know if there were any witnesses.
Yep.
To our friend being attacked.
Right. So in light of the investigation rules you've already made and done very well on, I can tell you that this crowd responds well to you, and several are eager to tell you what they've seen, any way that they feel like they can help put this monster to rest. They tell you, several of them say that they witnessed the knight being attacked, and that they saw, this dark shadow suddenly appear behind the knight and strike him hard as a person might cold cock a fighter in a bar brawl. And once he was laid out on the ground, the beast simply either ran off or vanished.
Hmm.
My intent, though, was to have Aaron away from the group when that takes place.
You can have done that.
I want to ask him if he can show me his wounds.
Sure. He kind of he's like I said, he's in full battle regalia in plate armor, and you hear a bit of hesitation, and finally he kind of like reaches up to the helm and unbuckles the places where the helm is affixed to the gorget, and then lifts it off, and he kind of turns his back to you, giving you this look like, I really hope I can trust you. and he lifts his hair at the back of his head, and you can see that there is a large bruise that has turned purple at this point around the left back side of his head near where it meets his neck.
It seems to strike me in the same place each time, like it knows. It hits me hard enough that it knocks me out even with the armor on.
Any idea why it would spare you but still kill the others?
I have none. No clue whatsoever. The only other piece of information I have that relates to myself is that there's one more victim of this whole thing, only there's no body.
Someone close to you.
My lover. They were taken one night, the first night. I returned to the villa, and he was gone. I have not seen him since. There was no sign of any attack. There were signs of struggle, of course. There was damage to the building, so clearly the creature had been inside. But I did not see any blood or remains.
Can we go somewhere where just the group of us can talk?
If you would like to discuss out of earshot of the rumor mill, then yes, I can provide you a place.
Do you believe he was taken?
I am hopeful. Because if he was not taken alive, the alternative is very troubling to my mind.
I have a 14 on insight just to get a read on Aaron.
14 on insight. Okay. He seems very legitimately distraught, and he is sharing this information with you. Sharing this information with you is no mean feat for him. There is clearly a lot of hurt here.
Okay, I want to exclude meta knowledge. How would I roll then for my character to put the puzzle pieces together?
To put the puzzle pieces together.
Specifically, putting together the idea that there's someone who is no longer living in the village, presumed dead, big furry creatures with claws, and this person not being targeted, even though their lover was.
I mean, you don't have to roll for that. You can make those assumptions.
Okay. Well, when we're in private, I'm going to ask him if he's heard of lichens.
By lichens, you mean lycanthropes?
Aye.
They are not unheard of in these lands.
Continue, please.
They are, of course, your run-of-the-mill, as far as that goes, werewolves. They have the occasional werebear. None has ever troubled our village in the past. I think, what else is there? Probably were-rabbits, as far as I know, but the two that you usually hear about are the werewolves and the werebears.
Indeed. And can you describe to me, is there a limitation on who can be targeted with lycanthropy?
Lycanthropy is usually passed on through the bite, is it not?
Yes, but anyone can be affected, yes?
As far as I know, that is what the tales say.
I'm asking. I'm sure you know more on the subject than I do.
I assume I do not. You are the expert monster hunter.
Yes. So from your knowledge of lycanthropy, how much of a person's mental facilities are still present when lycanthropy causes the transformation?
The stories that we are told would indicate that one becomes entirely the beast. Some stories say that a person returns to their form and has no memory of being this creature.
Can you tell me about your lover?
If you think it will help with your investigation.
I think it will, as difficult as this is.
I think Bree was going to ask a question.
Yes, it's unrelated to what's currently going on. Can you remind me? We basically have an understanding of what's going on with the attacks, but we still don't know where it's coming from. Like if we just set out into the forest, we don't know yet.
Right, but that is what survival is for, and you've already got a pretty good base for survival checks. So survival checks are used, just as a quick explanation, survival checks are used to try and track things, like track an animal or a monster or a person through the woods or other environs. So everyone can roll survival. I know that the barbarian, Zan's character, rolled pretty well on survival earlier. So you've got you do have a good starting point for that if you wanted to try following tracks.
Nope, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure I was right there.
Okay. Back to Joseph's question. He kind of rocks his head back and forth as he thinks over this and says, "Very well. My husband-to-be's name was Olian Odis. He was of half-elf descent.
Can you spell his name for me?
Olean is Olean, with an accent aigu on the E. And Oti is Otis.
Around what time is it, like, in game regards?
At this point, it's, say around supper time, maybe 6 in the evening.
Okay, so it is becoming dark, or darker, I believe.
Like, it's still pretty bright out, but you know that the sun will be going to set in the next few hours.
Wonderful.
I'm going to press a little bit further about Olean.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a location outside of this town that he frequents, or a place that he goes if he does not feel safe?
He had his gardens, he was cultivating many flowers, but I have already checked this place. As for family, he traveled a long way to come to this town with me. So his family, his parents, they are not local to here. There is a a bungalow in the woods, maybe a mile outside of this town. We would sometimes go there to picnic, though we very infrequently went inside. It was derelict, you see. But it is the only other place that I could think of that fits the description you're looking for.
You have not been there recently?
I have not gone to look there for him, no.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Okay.
Do you know of anyone that you might have accidentally made mad and they would want to get revenge on you, make you suffer?
I can think of no one. I have run this the villa and the surrounding lands as honorably as I can. A great amount of faith has been placed upon me by the crown, and I do not wish to do dishonor to the crown, my liege, or my family. Usually, if there is a disagreement, it is about working hours or pay, and I find I speak, of course, of myself, so take it with your grain of salt, but I think that I usually can find a very fair way to come to an agreement between myself and the workers, the estate and its employees.
Okay.
None has expressed distaste for me after these negotiations, at least not to my face, and as you know, word gets round this town. Any troubles are very quickly known by everyone. There are not many people here. I try to keep an ear to it.
Thank you.
Is there...
So, the question is, do we set out to the forest now, or do we try to set an ambush at night if it comes?
I believe we should wait at least a little bit longer.
You wish to follow the tracks, they will be easier to follow while you still have sunlight.
I think we should leave now.
I think, yeah.
The last attack was 2 days ago. It does not usually attack every day. As I said, the first attack was nigh a fortnight ago, and it has attacked, I think, 6 times since then.
I stand up and head towards the door.
I follow.
Right. We'll head off then.
If you are seeking the beast's path, do keep an eye out for my Orleans.
Of course. Of course we will.
We'll
And I
make
wish
sure
to
you
know-
come back safe.
I wish to know what you find, no matter what it is.
Do we need to roll survival now?
Yes, you can roll survival. I believe that Zan had a 15 from earlier, but he can re-roll it if he wants.
11.
20.
20 is very good.
Well,
I'm slightly disappointed by that roll.
I went down on my roll. I got an 11 this time.
I did way better than I expected. I got a 21.
21. Okay. With that, you're able to go back out into the streets of the town and begin trying to piece together the movements of this creature. Eventually, you do find markings that you believe that you can follow out of the town. And you begin following these through the woods. Now and again, it almost seems to vanish, that you lose sight of this thing. But it isn't long before you see another, a slashed tree trunk, or, paw print in the muck. It takes you about an hour and a half. And so at this point, it being about 7:30, the sun is much lower in the sky. You are losing the light. But you do see ahead of you, as you are continuing to follow the path that you have been able to track, a clearing in the trees. You have wandered across a few roads, but in between each is basically woods. And so now you are tracking through the woods, and you see that the trees begin to space apart, and ahead you catch a glimpse of orange plaster. It looks like there is a building there. As you approach, you see that there does appear to be a candle lit within, and you begin to hear echoing through the woods this deep growl, guttural as a dog might make in warning, only powerfully intense, like no dog you've heard.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to call out William's name.
And the response to that is an echoing bark and howl that seems to come from all around you at once.
Mm.
I get rid of my weapons.
Yeah, I've got my battle axe out.
I got
Red
5
Nexus.
gold on this being a werewolf.
Okay. You may roll initiative.
Can I prepare to cast a spell?
You may. You understand that means that you cast the spell and then you hold it until you are ready to cast, until you're ready to release it. So you will be concentrating on the spell until you're ready to release it, and then you release it as a reaction.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. Let's see here.
Eee,
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm gonna do the same. Actually, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Oh, wait, I do like that, actually. I thought that was a different number.
Crap! I don't like mine.
I am not happy with that roll.
Tristan, Al's initiative is rolling over into this session.
Sorry. Trying to move my notepad over so I can actually use the keyboard here, because I've got it on top of the keyboard. Bumping into everything. Excuse me, my throat has been closing up. Refresh myself. Selena. Okay.
That initiative is so good, but I absolutely hate it. I shouldn't have rolled that good.
Yeah, I know. If we act before it, then, well, you can't do anything.
Now, out of curiosity, Zan, are you playing this as Lara, as a female character, or have you assigned them another name that I didn't know about?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. I made it Amon.
Okay.
One of the recommended names from the book.
Okay. So, like, IMON?
Yes.
Okay. Put that in the wrong spot. Mara, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's stick with that.
Apologies. I mean, you can have a different one if you want. Dawn is 20. And what is Dirk? L5, there it is, sorry. Overlooked it. I think that's everybody. Okay. So, initiative is going to look like that. So, Dawn, you begin, you cast a spell and you hold the power in your hand. So, spend the spell slot if it's not a cantrip, and you are now concentrating on this thing. So you cannot cast other concentration spells, but you could potentially cast other non-concentration spells.
It is a cantrip.
Oh, okay. So all this means is that you are holding the power of the cantrip in your hand. You cannot cast other concentration spells, and if you take a hit, you have to roll your concentration check, which is a Constitution saving throw. Otherwise, you drop the cantrip.
Understood.
Okay. Would you like to... basically, you are standing at the entrance to this clearing. The house is like 40 feet away from you It does appear to be like a small one-room... Ash, would you mute?
No. Oh, sorry.
Could you mute? Thank you. It does appear to be, as described, like a small one-room bungalow. It's got, you can see like a stone chimney coming out of it, and it's got a window on the front side that has like a sheer curtain, like a thin curtain drawn across it, behind which you can see the light of a lit candle. Selena, what do you do?
I'm going to hold my action. If something runs at us to attack us, then I'm going to throw one of my hand axes.
Alright. And that makes it the monster's turn. So, as the howl and the barking continues to echo through the trees around you, you are going to hear the sound of smashing glass. And very suddenly, you're going to see this shadow appear on top of the building. And as I said, the sun hasn't set yet. It's a bit dimmer here just because you are surrounded by trees, and so sunlight isn't necessarily getting directly in here. But what you see on top of this building seems to resemble a man hunched over, bulging torso, you know, all rippling muscle, or at least you imagine it is, because of the size, the silhouette. Himself appears to be comprised of midnight blue and stars, and atop this you can see the silhouette of a canine head, within the bounds of which you see the burning red coals, glowing eyes.
No.
I think I won 5 drachma, guys, or 5 gold.
Okay.
It's going to bound down off of the roof of the building, and it's going to start sprinting towards you. When it gets to... So... It is going to get within 20 feet of you, Selena, so I believe that is the short range of your axes. Would you like to throw at that time?
Yes, I would like to.
Alright, make a throw.
That is a 16.
A 16. Alright, you hit the creature. You fling your hand axe forward. It spins through the air, and as the creature is bounding towards you, this wall of darkness and muscle and these glowing red eyes, you're going to see the glinting metal of the axe catch it in the, like, right above its collarbone, between its shoulder and its head, and it's going to seem to miss a step as it cries out like an injured dog. And it's, as it seems to be about to crash shoulder first into the ground, it vanishes and immediately reappears directly next to Selena, at which point it is going to make an attack. But you do still see your axe buried in its collarbone. Good hit. What's the damage for that?
8.
Okay, 8 points of non-magical slashing damage. Alright, it is going to make an attack against you with its claws. You see, like, it's the arm that does not have the axe buried. It's going to wind it back, and you just see this massive, his palm is like 3 times the size of a normal person, with long fingers that end in these huge hooks for claws. Oof. He is going to roll a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that's...
Okay. They are going to be taking 2 points of magical slashing damage. He's going to vanish again, and he's going to appear next to Dirk.
Oh, good night.
For which he rolled a 7 to hit.
No.
Okay, he tries to use the arm that has the axe buried in the shoulder, but you see he brings it up and then winces in pain and just pulls his swing short, missing you. He's going to vanish once more, and he's going to be menacing Dawn. Is going to try to bite you as this mouth full of shining teeth like stars in the night comes towards you at a 14 to hit.
That hit.
Okay. Please take 3 points of magical piercing damage as he bites you with his fangs.
Correct.
He is now next to Dawn. And it becomes Mara's turn.
Okay. I had cast a spell. I have Firebolt, which I would like to release.
Oh, okay, yeah, I apologize. That actually would have gone, as soon as it appeared on the roof.
Ah, gotcha.
Because that's, as soon as it's in range, right?
Spell.
It's a ranged spell attack.
Right, but when you prepare it, you usually choose a trigger.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, at this point, I'll just still use it.
Yeah, so you spend your reaction, and you fling the spell.
Yes. Let's see here. Oh no. I rolled a 1?
Okay, so 1 is going to automatic.
Hit. That's only going to be a no this.
So a 1 is an automatic miss. So
yeah.
you unleash the spell, and the creature, while it is menacing Dawn, hears your incantation, turns and quickly flings itself, bends backwards like a limbo stick, and your firebolt streaks over its chest, and it just seems to glare at you, and you hear this guttural growling again, seem to come not directly from the creature, but from the woods all around you.
For concentration, I got an 11, so I don't think I maintain it.
You do.
Shit, okay.
So the concentration check is 10, the higher of 10 points are half the damage you took. So if you took less than 22 points of damage, the DC is always 10. And it's a constitution saving throw.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you still have that, you can have released that as your reaction.
Yeah, I probably would have.
Okay.
Sorry.
So just as it appears in front of you right before it bites you, you unleash your... Is there any way that...
it's my younger brother.
Is there any way that he could, put it off for a little bit? We've only got, a half hour left.
Joseph having fun.
Yeah, he is.
Well, we're getting additional background music.
Background music.
So I just need to know what is being cast, and if I have to roll or...
Vicious Mockery, and you need to make a wisdom save.
Okay. He did really well. He got an 18.
That succeeds.
Okay. Does it do anything on a miss?
No, it's a cantrip.
Okay. I never remember. Then now there are some cantrips that still do stuff on misses. I learned that level 2 evocation wizards still get to do half damage on misses with cantrips.
Alright, there are exceptions.
Yeah. And I don't usually have bard, so I always have to check these things. Okay. Right. So those were both prepared actions that were taken, I believe. So, Mara, what's your action for this turn?
Oh, I guess that was prepared, wasn't it? My action is, I guess, because I screwed that up. How far away is he from me?
Say 10 feet.
I don't think I can do anything because the rest of what I have doesn't reach that.
Doesn't reach 10 feet?
No. It says my quarterstaff is a 5-foot reach, as is my melee.
So it's your turn. You can move.
That's true. Let me move closer to him and pull out my quarterstaff.
Okay. You can cross the 5 feet, close the distance, and attack him with your quarterstaff.
Oh, let's see if I do better than 1 this time. That was much better. 17.
That'll hit.
Yep.
You connect the creature, in spite of its ability clearly to vanish and reappear at will, seems quite solid when you strike it.
Oh, interesting. And damage is 1d6 minus 1. That's interesting.
You might have a -1 in strength.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that'll be a 3.
Okay. Another 3 points. You basically like crack it across its shoulder blades with your quarterstaff, and it goes, "Urgh!" But it doesn't seem quite as injured by this as the other attacks that have struck it. Dirk.
I want to close the distance and flank the beast.
Okay, you may do so. Do you get bonuses for flanking?
I don't. I don't know what 5e does for flanking.
It doesn't. There's no flanking in 5e because they're cowards.
There's an optional flanking rule.
There's an optional flanking rule, but for me, I find it easier to just run the rules as written and not put in all this other stuff. That's just me.
Well, I missed.
Huh?
But I did say, I suppose this means you won't be talking to us.
That's going to... You're going to see, like, it's one of its ears, like, radar dish towards you, and, that's all there. Iman.
How far away is he from me right now?
Call it 15 feet, as your group will kind of, like, spread, like, to, go around the building a little bit, like, and cover a wide berth, so you're not all on top of each other.
Perfect. I'm going to cast Witch Bolt on him.
Okay, Witch Bolt.
That is a 15.
A 15 will hit.
Perfect.
So you are now connected by a chain of lightning that is exuding from your hand and wrapping around his throat like a leash.
And I rolled 9 for damage.
9 for damage. Okay, quite good. He's going to yelp and whine in pain as this electricity crackles under his chin. Alright. That brings us to the top of the order. Dawn.
I'm going to try casting Vicious Mockery again.
Okay.
And Wisdom save, please.
14 that time.
Succeeds.
Okay. As this goes on, he's going to be, like, trying to grab at the electricity around his neck like it's a physical object. You hear him whining. Selena, your turn.
I'm going to drop my hand axe,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to draw my great axe and run up to it and attack.
Okay.
While raging.
I didn't catch that last word.
Raging. Bonus action.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well...
That is a 21 to hit.
21 will hit. Roll for damage as you bring your great axe down onto the creature.
$16 damage.
16.
Oh.
Very nice.
Geez.
Yeah,
Very nice.
11 on the die.
All right, you drive the blade down, and it enters the creature's back next to its spine, and it howls in pain, and you start to see, like, black smoke rising off the creature, and you hear this hissing like meat cooking on in a skillet, and slowly you see him, like, seeming to kind of shrink away as this dark smoke rises off of him, and you hear these pained groans becoming less and less feral and more human. On his turn, he is going to shrink back down into a human form and like fall to the ground, still clutching at the lightning leash around his neck. And say, please, yield.
How do we know you won't just turn back into the beast whenever I let go?
wish to
We
stop?
are. We are friends. We are friends.
I stop the concentration on my spell.
He's
A
going.
mutual friend, Errol, sent us.
Okay. Is anybody else going to take any combat actions?
Not
I
yet.
personally won't.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Alright, so you may all prepare, but I'm going to suspend initiative so that you can talk to him if that is what you wish to do.
I'm going to put my battle axe away and pull out a rope while we're talking.
He's going to be rubbing at his neck where there is, like, clearly this red ring of burned skin from the electricity. He's going to say,
Who are you? How did you find me?
We have a mutual friend.
And we're pretty good at tracking.
Yeah, that too.
he catches his breath a little and just says,
I haven't any friends left.
You still have one. I look at the structure that we'd already been told about, and sort of indicate the structure as the clue.
He's going to follow your gesture and turn back and says,
You spoke with Aaron.
Yes.
How is he?
He's okay, don't worry.
Please.
He's bruised.
So sorry. I have very little control over it when the change takes me.
Is the change controlled by what is around your neck, or is it you who is controlled?
I do not know the nature of it. I only know that some nights, once darkness falls, I become this creature, and I am filled with a rage. And I must direct this rage at the town.
A compulsion?
It is not mine. I do not wish to hurt these people.
Who took you from the village?
I did. I had to get away.
When did this thing go around your neck?
the red mark around his neck was caused by the witch bolt.
That was me.
Oh, I thought you were saying there was something around his neck.
It is a ring of burned flesh from having the witch bolt wrapped around his neck. Witch bolt is like an arc of lightning that connects the caster to the person and continuously burns them as long as the caster concentrates on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you say you left the village voluntarily because...
Oui, I thought that if I got away, that the change would stop, that if I was far, that I would not go after the villagers.
Yes, but what started
You're
the
not very
change?
far away.
I'm not sure. Please, I cannot do this anymore. I need you to kill me.
Kill you?
I cannot put the town in danger anymore. I cannot hurt Aaron anymore.
Is there nothing else we can do? Do you have no idea of... Do you feel nothing? Can you understand anything that's happening to you?
When did this happen? How?
I know that I first changed a fortnight ago. It was the day that I wished to formalize our engagement, Aaron and mine. I had taken a tincture I had purchased from the medicine woman who lives on the hill. It was supposed to cure the butterflies.
Can we see this?
I have only the bottle.
He's going to go into the bungalow and come back with this glass vial. Just has like a label on it. written in common. Whoops. That just says, take once to cure butterflies of the stomach.
I'm going to be blunt with you, sir.
Yes?
You changed back as the battle was not faring well. Could you change back at any point tonight?
I do not fully understand this transformation. It has only recently been... This curse has only recently been placed upon me. I am still learning how it functions, but usually it is as soon as night falls, there is a chance that I might become the creature and seek out the town and its people. Do horrible things.
We wish to help you,
Then help me by
but I do not
ending
think
this.
that killing you is the answer.
Then
I
what-
think we need to pay a visit to your friend who gave you the potion.
Celestine? Why would
Yes.
Celestine wish this upon me?
I didn't say that. You did.
Well, you did. Well, it happened after you drank it, and
I mean,
I can't think of anything else.
We're just trying to consider all the possibilities.
mais oui, I have considered the same. It is the only strange thing I have consumed before this started happening. But it is so hard to imagine that Celestine de Beauvoir would wish this upon me.
Is there any chance that someone is jealous of you and your partner?
I am quite, how you say, befriended of all of the people who work the land here, the vintners and the grape pickers, the ones who work the orchard. None of them has been giving me any kind of sharp look, or no rumor has come to my ears.
Roar for me.
What was that?
Roar.
Ah, why? What does this prove?
Pitiful. Do better.
No. No, I
think
do not
we
wish
need
to
scare
roar
the
anymore.
pants off of this woman.
I can tell you how to find Celestine de Beauvoir, but if she is the one who did this to me, I do not think I should be in her presence.
I didn't say you should be in her presence. I suggest you follow us at a distance, respectively, when we are near her. Then we should, how do I say, deceive her.
Deceive. What if I change? It will take some time to get to her residence. What will you do if I become this creature and run off towards the town?
You won't make it to the town, I promise.
You must swear that. I cannot hurt any more of the townspeople.
Our word is our bond.
It has taken all of my willpower not to let the creature kill Aaron. It wants to. Desires his blood more than any other.
How about this? I have 50 foot of rope. We take you with us, we head towards her house, we tie you to a tree with 50 foot of rope.
Make that 100.
The transformation bursts ropes. I have tried this.
No. We'll just tie it so it's kind of loose. So when you get bigger, it gets tightened down.
This creature is all muscle and razors. I've seen what it is through its eyes. You think rope can stop it?
Maybe a lot of rope.
It would at least slow you down.
Fine. We try, but if the townspeople suffer more, I will direct this creature back to you.
We know how to deal with you.
Hope.
I do have one question.
Wow. Please
Oh
ask it
dear,
quickly.
that was very much so in character.
Quickly.
He's pushed to talk.
Question. What is your question?
Question out of character. Can people willingly fail charm person?
I I think so, yeah. You can usually choose to fail a saving throw.
Real quick, gonna put on push to talk. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, you'll be making your way through the woods in the direction that he has indicated to take you to the residence of Celestine de Beauvoir.
If you don't mind, I'm taking my hand axe back. Full celts.
Yeah, actually, when he transformed back, it did fall out of him.
Okay.
It's so he still seems to be. You can still see the wounds that you laid upon him, but they are nowhere near as grievous as when you administered them. So it seems as though either his shape change protects his true form somewhat, or this curse has given him some form of healing.
Does it appear like he has been healing, or just that when he changed, he healed?
It's hard to tell. You don't know the nature of the magic. You just know that now that he is human, his wounds that you know from how they were administered, the hand axe cleaving his collarbone, and the great axe would probably severed several of his ribs at the spine. Those would be fatal injuries, and he is not fatally injured. He seems pretty well. He is bleeding from cuts in those locations, but they do not seem deep or to the bone at this point.
Do you mind if I cast a spell on you?
And what do you hope to accomplish with this spell?
Here's to hope it would possibly keep you at bay if things go, well, south.
If I turn into the beast, it is going to run for the town and try to kill Aaron.
Well, how about we do this spell as a backup plan, and we do still utilize the rope that my compatriots have, but
Just
also
tell me what this spell is.
charm person.
And this spell can affect the monster?
It says humanoid.
He's going to look around you and says,
Is the creature humanoid?
Looks humanoid?
he looks
Yeah.
humanoid. The creature very much is not.
If you are under the effects of this spell, then you will have a compulsion not to change.
Possibly. But I always have the compulsion not to change. I do not wish to change. That has never stopped it before.
Well,
Let us try it.
have you been under a charm before, though?
You know,
It's worth a shot.
It's definitely worth it. If anything, it doesn't work, we've already given you our promise that we will not let you go back to the village.
very well. Please, just do it. Wish
I
for
will
this nightmare
cast
to end.
Charm person.
You cast Charm Person. He purposely fails. He is now charmed by you. He seems a lot more willing to do the things you suggest to him, arguing less as you continue towards Celestine de Beauvoir. Eventually, you come to the foot of a hill where trees growing up it are more sparse. There are open rock faces, and you can see the lights of a 2-story but still small building at the top. There is a switchback packed earth trail leading up that you can begin to ascend. It looks like it would take you only a couple minutes to get from the bottom to the house. So,
All right.
you ascend.
How do we want to play this? Because I've got an idea of how I want to play it.
What's your idea?
It's in her best interest to give us the antidote because she's about to die. As in, we're being chased here by the monster, and the only way to save her is to cure him.
So,
I like it.
yeah, reasoning and deception.
That could be a convincing lie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have. I like that, Joseph. I would have to not be the person doing it, though.
Too
Do what you see fit.
can be pretty convincing.
I've got
Yeah.
persuasion and deception as good modifiers.
Yeah, I don't.
Persuasion.
I have
I have a
pretty good
decent
persuasion.
Perception.
I have better perception, so I definitely would not want to be the at the forefront here, though.
Oh, don't look at me. I'm not a good liar.
All right, do we want to try it?
I'm down with this plan.
I went to the dwarven equivalent of Catholic school. I can do this.
Then let's tie him up and hope that it does something.
Okay, so you're going to run rope loops around him loosely, such that he basically has to hold them up himself, and then tie the rest around the tree.
Yeah, basically. Like
Okay.
around his chest and around his arms too.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's like standing there, like holding loops of rope up that are going around his body and around his arms.
All right. Please, find a way to solve this. Otherwise, kill me.
Will do.
One, I'm not gonna kill you. Two, I'm sticking right here just in case at a distance.
If it comes to it, I promise to make it quick.
The house seems to be clapboard, kind of ramshackle, tossed together. It is narrow, like maybe 1 to 2 rooms per floor, two stories tall, and you can see it is lit from the inside in hues of yellow and red, and there are lanterns outside hanging near the door, swinging in a gentle breeze, the flames of which are blue. There is a sign on the door that is bilingual, written in Common, and another language. I don't know. Does anybody speak Infernal?
I think I do.
No.
Yeah, I speak Infernal.
Okay. I was gonna forego it, and then I remembered I think somebody chose a tiefling. So yes, it is written in Common and Infernal, and it just says Celestine de Beauveau. It says the same thing in both languages. It says Celestine de Beauveau, tonics, elixirs, and cure-alls.
Yeah, I'm going to frantically.
That's an interesting.
What?
I just turned to the bar and go, that's a weird language for someone to pick as a second one in this area. Yeah, we all agree on that, right?
I shrug. I speak Celestial.
Okay, Mr. Paladin.
Okay, I'm gonna run up to the door and frantically bang on it.
Okay. We're inside. You're going to hear a haughty voice call loudly and say, "It is unlocked! Come in, please. Do not blister the paint."
Okay, I'm assuming the demeanor we're all going to have is we're about to die.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, the door flings open and in we come, panting, out of breath. And then we explain the situation that we're being pursued by a great beast, and we hoped against hope she might have some way to cure this beast's condition so that we do not all die.
Mais oui. I had heard that the local vineyard had come under attack by such a creature. Poor Aaron de Milo and his lands. Tell me, travelers, were you hired by him?
By who?
Aaron de Milo.
We met him in passing.
In passing.
We were on our way out of town and got
And
waylaid.
then you met this creature.
Forgive me, because I skipped a step here since you went straight into, telling me what you told her. She does seem nonplussed by it. She seems unfazed, that is to say, by what you're telling her. The person you are speaking with is a tiefling, with pale red skin, short, black pointed horns on her forehead, and medium-length, straight, dark blue hair. And she looks almost a little bit amused as you complain about this monster. Says, "And it followed you here, did it?"
I hope not. On our way out of town, it attacked us, but all we saw was flashes of fur.
Indeed. As I said, I have heard the rumors of this creature that is plaguing the town, and it is most unfortunate, but I find that I am quite well positioned. Far outside of town, I have seen hide nor hair of this creature. How can Celestine de Beauvoir help you tonight? You wish for a tonic or elixir to stay alive in this battle for your lives?
What is your understanding of the effects of a bite from a creature of this type?
I do not know. I suppose it could become infected and you could die. Or perhaps, if it is some type of were-creature, you could become one of its kind. But I do not know what it is.
In that case, would you have the cure?
Perhaps. It would cost something extraordinary, though.
Of course it would. But if you were to give an estimate with your knowledge, and I'm trying to look nervous and like I'm trying to hide something beyond what I'm actually trying to hide, how long would it take for the bite to actually take effect?
Oh, I mean, if it is a were-creature, as you seem to be convinced, could be until the next full moon. Or it could be tomorrow. I do not rightly know, but I think I can prepare an extract for you. Something that should counter the effects of such a curse. I could probably have it ready for you 2 days hence. For 100 gold pieces.
When is the next full moon?
She's going to, pull open a drawer and pull out a rolled up piece of parchment, unroll it, and you're going to see just, the phases of the moon on it. And she's going to run her hand over it, and you can see that she closes her eyes and kind of counts. She says, it seems to me that the next full moon is not for another 8 or 9 days.
Oh, okay, good.
Then, you wish to give me the golds, and I shall prepare you an elixir. I could be convinced to expedite the process for an additional fee.
And how much would that be?
Oh, depending on how quickly you want it done. I could have it done tonight for 500.
I think maybe I'll just sit outside your house till I change then.
I think that sounds like a scam.
Yeah.
Are you attempting to threaten me and my business?
No, of course not.
No, I'm merely questioning your prices.
Question.
And your morals.
Question all you like. But that is the price. If you wish to pay it, I can sell you the items. Otherwise, you can always get them from someone else.
So you know you have a monopoly, and so you jack up prices higher than they're supposed to be. That's what I'm understanding here?
I am sorry. Is there not someone else you can purchase these things from?
Doesn't
What
seem
a
to be in this
journey.
area.
I'm going to turn to Zan's character, and I'm going to say, my matter of life and death is hardly the time to question capitalistic monopolies.
What is this?
Never mind. We can synthesize.
We are
an
very
antidote. All we
far
need.
here from the capital of this country.
I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
We are very far from the capital of this country. But if you wish to take your problems there, be my guest.
No, I think we have the means to make the antidote ourselves. But I would like to know if you have the mean. If you have any potion that has the opposite effect that I could utilize.
You wish to make a were creature?
I do not. I wish to have a potion that does that, or at least something similar, so I can then synthesize the antidote myself.
Okay. Assuming I had such a thing, it would probably run you 1,000 gold pieces, because I could sell that to this country's military and make a fortune for the rest of my life, getting their soldiers to be controlled lycanthropes.
You wouldn't do that, though, because you don't have it, right?
I have not done that, so it follows to reason that I do not have this ring. Are you being chased by a lycanthrope?
Insight check?
Go for it.
Yeah, I would
16.
I would like to also run perception.
Okay.
Ooh. 20.
With the 20 perception, you can look around and see that the inside of this room is hung with cuttings of many different plants. There are jars with stones and creatures and gems and parts of plants inside them, labeled in Infernal. It looks like she's running an alchemy here.
But nothing super applicable. Okay.
Like, you wouldn't, unless you were to, go through, investigate, and try to understand her organization system, you wouldn't be able to instantly identify, essence of werewolf.
Okay.
With the 16 on insight, this woman is good, but you can tell that she is keeping something back. That she is not giving you the whole truth.
Did you need any rolls from us on our deception?
For your deception? No. You can tell the situation that she is basically she doesn't seem to care what your story is. If you want to buy something, she'll sell it to you.
How far are we from the town?
Probably, a mile or two, gone clockwise around the town off to the east in this case. The other one was kind of to the northwest. So as you traveled through the woods, you went sort of around the town, but stayed up, near the same distance from it. Now you're maybe 2 miles out up this hill.
She's going to get close and be a bit aggressive. I highly suggest that you tell us everything. Don't hold back, please.
She's going to look you square in the eyes. Her solid orange, her eyeballs are a solid orange color, having no pupil, no iris. And you see that her mouth twists into a smile as she kind of straightens up and puts another half-inch distance between you, just backing up a little.
Is there more to the story? Do you know something about this creature? You seem to suspect me of something.
I'm gonna say infernal to her.
Ooh.
One tiefling to another. Just tell us the truth already. We know you're hiding something.
No wonder Aaron doesn't love her.
In Infernal, she's going to say,
And how would the truth serve me at this point? Unless the truth somehow results in the death of Aaron DeMilo.
So far, the lies haven't resulted in his death either.
I think the creature will see to that soon.
Debatable.
So they have this quick exchange in Infernal, which I don't think anybody else speaks.
No.
What do you do with that new information?
I'm gonna now say in common, okay guys, yeah, she definitely did something because she wants the death of Aaron.
Why? Why would you want such a thing?
Well, if he didn't love her back, what would you do?
Please, I do not seek the affections of these people. Aaron DeMilo is the great-grandson of the first man to settle this region in the name of his king. In so doing, displaced my family violently, vehemently. He will suffer for the crimes of his ancestors.
Quite the spite.
Yes. If you had lived to see the deaths of everyone you hold dear, how they were treated by the soldiers of that man, you too should feel the same.
Well, I don't think I would attack his grandson.
Well,
No,
he is not
but I
here.
would tear them apart. The people responsible.
But they are no longer here.
Well, then why are you trying to make something that tears apart his grandson then? Did
I
your grandson
curse.
do this
Nothing
to
to
you?
do with it.
I curse his bloodline. There will never be another Demilo in this region. And that is enough. Then my ancestors and my family will finally rest in peace. Unless there is something you think you can do. Some other way to solve this.
Yeah, it's called being a decent person and not attack an innocent.
He is not innocent. He carries the blood of that beast of a man.
What if we convinced him to move somewhere else?
He would not be suffering.
Think about this logically. Let's say you succeeded. Let's say we hadn't killed the beast ourselves.
You killed
Let's
the
say
beast.
that the entire village was wiped out tomorrow.
Did you
or
kill
the
the
next
beast?
full
Tell
moon
me,
period.
did you kill the beast?
Do you have ears? Let's say that you had succeeded and the entire village was wiped out. What's the next thing that happens? Is the king going to say, "Oh well," or is the king going to send force and make the situation even worse for you?
Well, not for me. Then the king has to worry about the beast.
No,
My vengeance
he
will be
won't.
exacted, and I can leave. Completely unimplicated.
Is this something you want to happen again? Because it will. It'll happen worse.
You are going to sit here and try to philosophy me to death, unless I offer you some other way of placating my family.
No, I'm not interested in your family. I'm interested in, do you care if this happens again?
What I care about, little man, is that my family is avenged. Anything beyond that does not interest me whatsoever.
Well, you failed, so.
Have you killed the beast?
Easily.
Does Demilo know who the beast was?
I don't know what.
Does Demilo know who the beast was?
No.
And when you go to collect your fee, are you going to inform him?
I think you will.
His way will suffer. So, if the beast is dead, then the job is done. All is well with the world again. But I do not
No.
think that
No,
you
it's
would
not.
have come seeking me out, looking for an antidote, if you had killed the beast. Do not think me a fool, dwarf.
I will.
I have been in this land hundreds of years.
No, you're absolutely a fool. You laid all this planning, and it was all thwarted by people who came in from out of town and figured you out in one night.
You have no solution to the beast. If the child does not die, the beast will continue to kill. And if the child dies, Aaron de Milo suffers anyway.
Out of character, how's the spell holding up?
If you are continuing to concentrate on it, I think it lasts an hour or something like that? A minute? Oh,
Yeah, an hour.
okay. Fine.
I don't think it's concentration.
As you have continued to talk with her, the sun continues its descent into full dark. As it took you some time to get here, it was already set. You do begin to hear those guttural growls. Dawn.
Oh no.
Can I? I don't know. Can I roll a history to see if there's anything she's like hiding about her past that we could dredge up?
You may.
11?
You know that tieflings don't live hundreds of years. Tieflings live the same amount of time as humans.
Okay.
Would I know that automatically being a tiefling?
Yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't really help.
But you also know from your 11 that there isn't any story of tieflings being displaced in this location in the recent generations.
So, quick question for you, old lady. One tiefling to another. I know we don't live hundreds of years. What you talking about?
She also looks incredibly young and beautiful.
Yeah, it's like have you gone a little cuckoo in the brain?
Or maybe you're not what you appear to be.
Guys.
The creature, the man outside, is becoming bestial.
Help!
You brought the creature here, did you?
Yeah, let's just drag her outside and let it eat her.
I like that idea.
She goes willingly outside.
Okay, let's place her in front of it.
She stands there, facing the creature as it is bound to the tree as he grows into his bestial form.
Okay, I'm going to see who blinks first.
The creature, as it reattains its full, muscular, clawed form, begins struggling against the bonds, and you hear the tree itself groaning as he continues to thrash, and eventually he's able to get one of his claws over the rope and slash them, breaking free of it. He goes down onto all fours. He goes down onto all fours, his glowing red eyes blazing in the direction of the tiefling. She stands there stoically, smiles, and points in the direction of the town. He turns and runs that way off into the woods.
We don't get a reaction when he does that?
I mean, you can, but unless you're next to him, you're not going to be able to attack him with melee.
My intent was to be pretty near.
I mean, you wanted her to be the closest, which means you're farther away.
How far away are we?
I mean, you probably gave it 10 feet of birth.
Yes, but we also promised we wouldn't let it go to the village, so where would we be standing but between it and the village?
I mean, then it's going to leap over you. It's going to be barreling straight at you. If you're going to stand down the hill and form a line, it's going to be running straight at you.
I do a reaction range attack.
I mean, you couldn't have prepared that if that's what you want. But it seems like your fearless leader, the dwarf here, was convinced it would maul her to death.
Yeah,
and it did not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were prepared to attack it, since you were waiting for it to kill her.
No, I wasn't. I didn't think about that.
I would have had Thunder Wave prepared.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw, s'il vous plaît.
It's going to fail that, so you push it back and deal damage to it with Thunder Wave. It's going
now to find my D8s.
It's going to get up off the ground and begin running again. It's going to try and go around your line.
Are we doing this kind of out of order?
We're doing this kind of out of order.
Okay, would I be able to cast a chromatic orb?
Okay. What is the effect of chromatic orb besides damage?
4-inch diameter sphere of energy. I choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder for the type of orb.
Okay, so it does damage. Does anybody have anything that does anything other than damage that they want to try? Because I can tell you, as you throw damaging effects at it, as it runs around you, you're going to hit it multiple times, and it's going to be injured, but it is going to continue toward the town.
Instead of attacking it, I'm going to attack her.
Okay.
Because she pointed towards the
15
village
damage for thunder.
and he started running.
Okay. I will let you roll an attack against her.
I'm 19.
19. Okay. You're going to bring your great axe down, and she's going to take the hit on her, across the front of her body, and she's going to be, thrown back, and she's going to hit the ground and seem to tumble. And as she rises, you're going to see that the face of this tiefling melts away, the blue dripping off the hair like so much paint, replaced by platinum blonde. And what you see before you is an elf of grand stature, and she's going to look at you with vitriol in her eyes, and she's going to throw her hand up, and she's going to cast a spell at you. I need to save for hold person.
11 damage.
11 damage, okay, she takes the 11 damage. I want this. She retaliates. You must make a wisdom saving throw.
13?
13 is not going to be high enough. You find that you are completely paralyzed. As much as you try to gather your thoughts and force your body to move, you cannot. Your body feels limp and out of your control. And she says, in a different voice entirely, "Now then, you have been put on the timer. So, if you wish for this," and she gestures toward the forest in which you can still hear the hyena cackling and the howling as it moves away from you, to stop, you will do something for me.
And what is
Can I
that?
answer?
She's going to turn and go into the house. You find that you remain paralyzed there, as she maintains concentration on the spell. She says, "I know that I cannot convince you to go after Aaron DeMilo. However, I can give you the supplies and instructions to call forth the spirit of the ancestor that did this, and make it, while not fully corporeal, still threatenable with your weapons. If you can convince him that which I could not, and make him admit his folly and beg my forgiveness, then I will spare his line and these people. That is your ultimatum and the only deal I will make."
Does she have us all frozen?
No, just your barbarian,
Okay.
who is, very clearly, held against her will.
What do you guys think?
John would be contemplating this situation. You can see the visible distraught.
And yes, you know from the way she phrased things that she has tried this herself and was unable to convince the man.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to say that I haven't really gotten an action since the standoff.
You can declare something.
And since I did not get an action during the standoff, so therefore all this happened, I'm actually chasing the werewolf.
Oh, okay. You are chasing the werewolf. It is a lot faster than a dwarf running through the woods. but if you want to keep at it, you may.
I made a promise.
Okay. It is going to be a very difficult promise to deliver on.
I'm going to turn to this woman and speak to her in Elvish and say, what makes you think that we can do this?
I think
Raise
that
someone
you
from the
have-
dead.
I know that you are not raising him from the dead. This will pull his spirit from the Shadowfell and give it a more tangible form. It is not life. And I don't think you can do this. I know that it's your only choice if you want to protect the people of that town.
All right, well, do we move ahead with it?
And she's going to say in common, you can kill me if you wish, but that boy's curse will remain until I remove it.
I don't think we have any other option, everyone.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Hate this option, but let's do it.
Okay. Since we are already past the time we promised, Bree, do you mind if I summarize the things that happen next?
Sure, I got like 10, 15 minutes.
You got 10 or 15?
Yeah.
Alright, let me summarize a few things then. She's going to bring forth the supplies that you need and explain the ritual that you need to perform. It does not require any magical aptitude on your part. It is simply a set of incantations and burning the right ingredients in the right order, in the right spot. She's going to tell you where you must take them, because, as she said, she has tried this before. You will be directed to a tomb where the man is interred. As for Dirk, you continue chasing this thing through the woods, knowing that it is escaping you, but knowing also that you wish to uphold this promise that you made. Unfortunately, because it is much faster than you, it is going to reach the town ahead of you. And you do hear the shouts and cries of people in the streets as you arrive. However, you will find it savaging not a person when you come upon it, but several things of value. Carts, supplies for the vintner, things of that nature, and you can at that point challenge it and attempt to fight it, and it will respond to you since it is in the town now, trying to find Aaron Milo.
Okay.
I can tell you also that Aaron will join you in this fight after a few moments, and it will focus its attacks on him, but you know this, and you can gear your fighting toward protecting him and keeping it at bay. If that is what you wish.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I ask is two things. One, are you going to be fighting to the death, or are you going to be doing your best not to strike fatal blows against it?
I have no idea what's going on with the rest of the group at this point.
You don't.
But I do know that the tiefling is not dead. You know, she's still alive and she's calling the shots. So all I have to do is keep this guy alive long enough to compel her to undo what she did.
Okay. You may run on those assumptions. So are you are going to then attempt not to kill him?
Yes, and
Okay.
depending on the circumstances, I might even tell Aaron that it's someone he happens to know.
Well, that answers my second question, because I was going to ask if you were going to tell Aaron if it was Oleon.
It would depend. If it seems like we may have to kill him, then I'm not going to.
Okay, so you're going to let the fight carry, because Aaron is going to be fighting quite lethally the whole time. He believes he must kill this creature.
All I will say is that I believe it could be someone that he knows.
Okay, if you're going to drop that hint, then he will try to keep it at bay. I think that after a while he's going to put two and two together, but we'll get there when we come to it. Okay. So you are fighting in defense of the town, you are fighting alongside Aaron, and you are trying your best to keep Oleon alive, hoping that your team will get things solved as you do this. Are you satisfied with that?
Yes.
Okay. Just very quickly, does anybody else feel like their character would have followed Dirk to help him, or is everybody else on board with doing this ritual?
That depends entirely on how long I would have been frozen.
Oh, I mean,
I
she
would have followed
holds
with him.
she holds it for the whole duration, which is 1 minute. But that's enough time for the rest of the party to seem like they're getting on board with this idea. So, like, she loses the spell. You gain your body control of your body back about the time she's getting ready to start explaining the ritual. So that's sort of like the situation that you come back to. She held you as long as she could.
Do you need me here, or do you need me for a ritual? Like, no. Do you need me over there in the town? Should I run?
Go.
All right then.
All right.
I'm gonna dash.
You dash. It takes you a while to get there. You can still hear the shouts and cries, but you also hear the sounds of battle. You have, arrived no more than a few minutes after Dirk did, and so you can quickly, localize the sounds and find this creature, and you know what the stakes are. So I imagine you're also going to be fighting non-lethally, or are you going to be striking to kill?
No, non-lethally.
Okay, very well. You may pull your attacks using the broad side of your great axe rather than the blade. To try and beat it into submission, and thwart its attacks. It does seem to be focusing most of its strikes at Aaron, trying to kill him as this beast is compelled to do. Based on the story that he told you and the fact that Aaron was never harmed before, it seems that bringing him before the person who cursed him has allowed her to take more direct control of the creature. He does not seem to be holding back, as he must have done in the past.
Well, we gotta do this fast.
Okay, so it takes you a short while, during which hopefully your friends are protecting the town, to get to the place she designated. You have the written out instructions, and you have what she walked you through verbally. You lay out the herbs, you begin burning the certain things, and you read from the incantation she gave you. And after a couple minutes of doing these things, you delegate the different tasks to different people, and you now. So you're all working together to get this done. After a few minutes, you're going to see light begin to gather on top of the sarcophagus that supposedly contains the remains of this ancestor.
All right.
Sorry, I was just reading a message from Joseph, just making sure I knew what was going on. The light gathering on top of it, and eventually it forms into an orb of this ghastly green glow that floats forth toward the center of this area that you designated for the ritual, and then a flash of light, and you see this semi-ethereal figure before you. Definitely feel like he's not just a ghostly image. There's some substance there, as you were told would be by Celestine. As this person appears, what you see before you is a human in battle regalia bearing a sigil of high command on his armor. And about him, you see the ghastly images of 4 other soldiers. And he looks around, and he holds out his hand and looks upon it, and then he addresses you, Bree, as you were the one kind of leading the effort on this ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "So, I have been returned to the mortal plane, have I?"
Yes. Not by our doing, I trust. I hope you understand that.
Perhaps not by your will, but entirely by your doing. Now, please quickly tell me, what do you wish of Frederick de Milor?
I'm just gonna give him a quick rundown. Tell him exactly what's going on. Blah blah blah.
And he's going to listen to this, scoffing slightly as the story goes on.
And he says, as I told that bitch years ago when she tried this, I did everything in the name of my king, and I have no remorse for how we treated those elves. They do not belong in these lands. They are the lands of my king, and now they are his vineyard. And my heir, the heir to my bloodline, is doing a fine job running them.
He's about to probably die. Are you sure you want that?
What do you mean?
She sent a werewolf after him.
Yes, and all she said was, "We can stop him. We can save your king if you promise to essentially back off."
I've apologized.
In person. Well, as much as possible.
He's going to be casting glances between you, and you can see his brow furrowing as there's frustration and anger building in him.
He says, do you come to tell me that my heir, Aaron de Milor, cannot handle one single werewolf?
Oh.
There's a problem with the fact of the werewolf.
Wait,
The
tell me what
werewolf
it is.
happens to be his husband-to-be.
You're joking.
I am not. I swear on my own life.
Knows this, he will not be able to slay the beast.
I believe, unfortunately, that deed has already been done. Knowing our compatriots, they probably have already informed him.
And you could not compel this witch to remove her curse?
Without an
We
apology
tried.
from you.
We tried.
I could try one more thing, but there's no promise it would work.
And you many folk with your weapons, you are not capable of slaying this creature?
No, sir. I don't know what I'd do if I was in his situation, and I would really rather not find out.
I just want to keep as many people alive as possible.
Alright, I want all of you to roll persuasion.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is a good one for me.
Not me.
That is
Hey,
a
just
dirty
get up
20.
there.
6.
It's easy for me to roll high on this one. I get a +5.
Nice. What do you got, Dawn?
I feel like you're not going to believe me if I tell you, but that's a natural 20 plus 4, so a 24.
Alright.
Yes.
Alrighty. Luckily, there are two silver tongues in the group, the warlock and the bard, not very surprisingly. And so as he is having this argument, trying to convince you that you must slay the beast in his son's stead, the bard and warlock are able to formulate their arguments.
Sorcerer. Sorcerer, not
Sorcerer, I'm sorry, I forgot that, I think Charisma Caster and I immediately think of warlocks.
And no, as a warlock maid, I understand that.
Yeah. Sorry, sorcerer. The sorcerer and the bard. You are finally able to break him down such that he realizes there is nothing he can say that will convince you to do this, and he knows that his son is running out of time. And so, practically shouting at the ground beneath his ghostly feet, he spits and says, "Fine! Bring the bitch here. I will give her what she wants."
We will. I'm so sorry, sir. I wish it didn't have to be like this.
At that, there's a dark doorway is going to appear in the open field behind you, and she is going to step out of it as it melts back into the ground. She's going to look at you with this knowing gaze. She says, I heard that there's good news here.
Your turn, bitch.
She simply frowns down at you as she struts off, stands before the ghost, and he says, I perform the deeds prescribed to me by my king, and I acknowledge that they resulted in poor treatment of your people. But for the life of my son, I ask your forgiveness for the crimes that I committed against you and yours in the life I once lived. And she's going to fold her arms before him and say, I need you to beg.
Can I subtly cast Charm Person on her to make her more accepting of his apology?
You can try that.
Okay.
She got a 22 on her saving throw, though.
Shit.
Oops.
And the man, Frederick de Milo, is going to splutter and stutter, and finally, after a stare down with this woman that is completely wordless for almost half a minute, he finally bends his knees and places his fists against the ground before him and says in the most strained voice you have ever heard, I beg, with all of the being that remains to me, the forgiveness of the Honorable Lady for the transgressions that I performed in my life. Please allow my son and his lover to live. The blame for those actions lies entirely with myself and my men. I acknowledge and accept that fault. Please do not kill my son. Not son, and heir. He would say heir. Excuse me. And finally, he says, well, since you put it that way. And she's going to wave her hand, and the spirit is going to... You're going to see the light begin to be pulled back toward the sarcophagus, and you just hear the ghastly wail of, wait, will you hold your hands? Before he disappears. And she turns to you and says, very well. You have done what I asked. I did not think you would succeed. So, I am surprised and grateful. In light of that, she waves her hand and a scroll appears in it, which she unrolls, and you see that it is coded in infernal symbols. And she tears it down the middle, and you see the frayed edge of the paper glow brilliantly white and then turn red, and it bursts into flames, and she drops it to the ground as it burns. There. I have removed the curse from young Oleon.
Well, it was a interesting road getting here, but we appreciate you sticking with your word as well.
My vengeance has been complete. My family can finally rest, and soon I shall join them.
And she's going to cast a hand out to one side, and you're going to see this dark doorway appear in the field again. And she's going to pause before she fully turns toward it, and she looks back and says, I suggest you never darken my doorway again. And she's going to step through the doorway and disappear.
Mara's gonna look at the colleagues and start running towards town.
And I am gonna follow in suit.
Back in
John would be flying.
back in town, Dirk, Aaron, and Selena have been fighting this creature the best of their ability not to kill it for many minutes. Like, you're tired, you're weary, you're out of any daily and encounter features that your class might give you, having used all of them to sustain yourself through this fight. All three of you sustained many bleeding injuries, cuts and scrapes and bites from this creature as it fought viciously, trying to kill Aaron. And then suddenly you're going to see the patch of road on which you're fighting before a set of shops is cast into shadow as the moon is blotted out suddenly above you. You don't see any cloud, the moon just goes dark. And there is a twinkling, you see the twinkling of the stars that was the patchwork of the creature's fur, and its blazing red eyes in this darkness slowly wink out one at a time and disappear, and as the moon begins to glow once more in the sky, illuminating the patch of road you're on, you find that before you lays the bruised and bleeding body of Oleon. And Aaron is going to drop his sword and begin tearing at the buckle for his shield, tossing it aside as it bangs its way down the roadway. He falls to his knees over Oleon's body, and he begins calling his name and trying to shake him awake. And after a moment, Oleon will open his eyes, say, "Aaron, I'm so sorry for all the trouble I caused." And there is a heartwarming reunion between the two of them, after which Aaron will look up at the two of you, Selena and Dirk, say, "I am upset that you did not directly tell me that this was Oleon, but I am eternally grateful that you are able to protect both of us through this cursed night."
Well, the witch kept her word.
I think that tomorrow you should find me at the Hall of Records, and you can tell me exactly what you mean when you say that, and I will give you the money I owe you. For now, I am taking Oleon home.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure we all need some rest ourselves.
You will find that after the battle has died down and the rest of your compatriots make it back, to the town, finding you there conversing in the wake of the battle, and Aaron and Oleon having absconded with themselves, that several people from the nearby buildings will have come down to begin asking questions, and you can answer or not answer as you see fit, but they will offer for you to stay in their homes free of charge, as thanks for protecting the town from this monster, as several of them witness the fight through their windows. And so you are able to spend the night in any number of houses. You come up the next day, and you go to the Hall of Records, where you give Aaron the detailed explanation of exactly what happened, and B-Team, or ritual team, rather, describes what they saw. And Aaron gives you 600 gold pieces, which is greater than what you had been promised for killing the beast.
Nice.
He has a somewhat disgusted look on his face as he tells you, I had no idea the dark history that my family had reaped upon this place when it was founded. I should seek out this alchemist and try to make amends. I will also be looking into other settlements to find out if similar practices had been used. I must not blindly serve the crown. There is recompense to be paid. I shall see it is done, on my honor as a knight.
Well, good luck to you in all of that.
Thank you. If not for you hunters, adventurers, then my Oleon and I might not be alive to have this conversation, to set this new course. So, I owe you a debt greater than the 600 gold pieces I have paid. Know that you shall be commemorated in this town, and if you ever find yourselves here again, there will be comfortable beds for you. I swear this also on my honor as a knight.
Thank you, sir. It's greatly appreciated.
And you are able to go on your way with your payment that you can split among yourselves and all of that goodness. You have saved all the lives that were capable of being saved in this one shot.
Well, that was fun.
That was.
Thank you, Bree, for staying the extra time to see it to completion. I'm sorry it ran a little long.
You know what? It actually turned out well because my husband realized he can't work out right now. He's going to go run a Fate system campaign with our friends.
Well, there we go. Thank you all for participating, and I hope you had a good time.
Thank you for having us. This was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I'm quite satisfied. Other than the fact that we did need to bring back a spirit from the dead, but you know.
Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan.
Yes, thank you all for coming. Thank you. I'm glad to meet some of you for the first time, so I hope that we get to interact again in the future.
Yes.
Congratulations to everybody, you know, gold, level ups, all those things that don't matter in a one shot. You get them. Congrats, you're rich, level 20, all that. Alright, let me know if we can do this again sometime, and I'm going to end the stream.
All right.
All right.